Hello badminton fans, and welcome to this racket test number 600, and I have forgotten 679. Gosh, 679. Okay, we have with us here the Victor Auraspeed 90s Badminton Racket. So by now hopefully you understand the format. We will talk about the availability, price, the specifications, the manufacturer specifications, compare them to our own E-Zone test results, then we will talk about the design, and then we will conclude on how this racket performs. There's a few changes that you should know about. The E-Zone testing does not include the control test anymore, where we had the buckets and the scoring system. Based on the E-Zone members' feedback, we now score the control test based on the on-court testing. So when we're dropping at the net, from the back, side, backhand, and we base our experience, and two of us then score ourselves for the control test. So hopefully that's helpful to everybody. The E-Zone itself is due an update this year, as well as Badminton Racket Review. The E-Zone will now have a search function, a date review function, so you can look at the latest rackets that we've tested, or the oldest rackets, or whatever you want. We will also have 5 new areas of testing, which will take each individual racket testing even deeper, so all of you will get an even further and better understanding of each racket's performance. And there is the possibility that later on in 2020 the Racket Review E-Zone will become a free platform to access. Back to the Auraspeed 90s. Price of this, £160 in the UK. Availability in Asia and Europe, no problem at all. It's available very good. Victor's actually got one of the best distribution networks that we've seen. So £160 obviously puts it right up there with the top end of the market. And at the top end of the market, there is an expectation that it's got to perform. I'm in the E-Zone right now, and I'm just intrigued now I've said that. I'm just going to type in nano flare. I'll put nano flare. There it is. Just going to compare. So I've got the E-Zone test results for the 90, and it's actually done okay, to be honest with you. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so let's start with the specs. Let's start with the specs of this racket. Go to the spec sheet. Right, so the weight of this racket is 3U, 85 to 90 grams. The E-Zone testing shows the weight of this racket to be 93.1 grams. That's with the grips applied by Victor and Yonex BG65 string. The balance point of this racket is actually head light. So they're saying it's a headlight racket, so the balance is veering slightly more towards the grip. The E-Zone testing shows this racket to be veering slightly towards the head, not by much, but a little bit towards the head. Balance point is something that is always slightly out. I'm not sure why, but the balance point test is actually the most easy manual test that we do, so it's very difficult to read it wrong. The shaft stiffness, according to Victor, is towards stiff, and the E-Zone testing for the shaft stiffness also shows it to be a stiff shaft. Other important information: maximum string tension 30 pounds, G5 grip on this racket, made in Taiwan, pyro fill material used, which we all know is only used in the top end rackets. High resilient modulus graphite plus nano 45 TR plus pyrofill. So that all sounds quite posh. Now, in terms of the design, well, it's a gloss black racket. It's got some very nice design features to it. It's understated, so it's a bit more like a Yonex racket. It's not overly designed like a Kawasaki, for example, which I personally think is brilliant. But this is more understated, but executed excellently by Victor. Beautifully designed racket. Take a look at these close-up videos and see what you think for yourself. Okay, so before we conclude on how this racket performs, if you're looking to buy this racket, go across to Badminton HQ. Let me bring up the website for you here. Yeah, badmintonhq.co.uk. There's a link below going directly to their website. You can use the link and you should get a discount. If that doesn't work for you, you can go onto their website and at the checkout point type in racket review and you will get a discount from these guys. And let me tell you, these guys are top guys. They are badminton enthusiasts, they are players themselves, they understand the game. That's why we've chosen to partner up with them, because they're not just a retailer, they're a superb bunch of chaps. We really like them. Okay, so how did this racket perform? Well, it certainly was a lot better than the 80X, which we have also reviewed during this test session. In terms of the weight of the racket, it weighed in at 93 grams, but actually we actually felt that it felt quicker in the air than the 80X. Its speed in the air was quicker than the 80X. So even though it's more expensive by £20, if you're going to buy a top of the range Auraspeed, then I'll go for the 90S, not the 80X. 80X is what I'm saying. 80X. This is better. It's quicker. It's more agile. It feels faster in the air, and the stiffness isn't too stiff. Despite it having a stiff shaft, it actually feels medium-ish, not overly stiff. And there's a lot of difference in performance between this and the 80X. It's good in most areas. It's actually above average in most areas. So yeah, it's got a very respectable E-zone testing score, and even the on-court testing scores were really respectable. So the key strength that we found in this, like the strength that shone through, is its control. Really stable at the net, really stable if you're trying to control it. Always know where the head is, so you can get nice control. Backhand, forehand, great control levels. So overall, you can use this racket for singles, you can use this racket for doubles, and if you're looking for a top of the range racket, then I would say, let's just have a quick look at that. Yeah, I would say that this is probably the one to go for at the moment. I'd prefer this over the Nano Flare 800. I prefer this over the Auraspeed 80X. It is a really capable racket. Its score in the E-zone could have been slightly higher, but the on-court testing results also show us this is a quick racket. It's easy to use because of its speed, it makes it quicker, therefore drive and defense gets quicker. Control is already good, and it offers good smash power. Again, probably the added airspeed just helps, you know, get that swing off, helps a lot. So it's definitely going to be a thumbs up for this racket. £160, it is top of the range. You are getting a very decent quality racket. But the main thing is, the problem we've always had is for these 200, 160, 180 pound, 140 pound rackets, they just don't perform. And you know, how can you say go buy it if it doesn't perform? It's just lies. Can't do that. So, but this actually does perform. Now let's be clear when I say it performs. If you are using a Kawasaki King K9, you're not going to use this and think to yourself, wow, because it is a little bit more harder work than the King K9. It's harder work than the J-Nice Black Panther. But I do think if you have advanced technique, advanced footwork, and you are in the right position at the right time, and you have a good swing speed onto the shuttle, I think you'll really enjoy using this racket. And if you're looking for the top end of the racket, forget the Astrox 99, forget the Nanoflare 800, go for this instead. I think this is a good top of the range racket, but be careful, it is not going to work for everybody. You do need to have good technique. Your footwork, your positioning is going to need to work for this to really engage. If otherwise, you'll be wasting your money. Then I wouldn't recommend it. Hopefully you found that helpful. Now we're going to move on to the E-zone testing of this 90S, the smash and maneuver test. For those of you who are very familiar with all of that, then you can sign off the video at this point. Just before you go, thank you for your likes, thank you for the shares, and if you have left some feedback, thank you for that too. If you've used this 90S, the 80X, the 70F, the 70K, Auraspeed, tell us about them. Leave reviews for other people to see on the YouTube channel. If you're an E-zone user, leave reviews. Very important. Badminton Racket review, we've had messages, sales, we've had emails from people all over the world, Russia, Romania, Iran, Israel, Iraq. It's just Europe, America, Canada, everywhere, India. It's all happening. We've had Badminton Racket review is reaching all parts of the world, and it's all because of your help. And we want to create a small community of badminton players on this channel within the E-zone, where you can come on and you can get loads of information, not just from us, but from everyone who's taking part in this process, which is all you guys. So thank you to all of you, and keep up the good work. Okay, I'm going to go and talk about the E-zone now, so sign off if you know all about that already. For those of you who don't know about the E-zone is a platform created by Badminton Racket Review. If you go to our website, www.badmintonracketreview.co.uk, there's links below. You will find there the E-zone. The E-zone is at the moment a chargeable platform. What, £2 to £10 is not a lot, considering there's nearly 700 rackets tested on there. The E-zone platform basically allows you to compare rackets from 19 different world-class manufacturers side by side. It's very difficult. It doesn't exist, it never has in this sport. When you decipher which racket you do or don't like, you can then drill down. You can go into the racket page itself and see even more in-depth information on the racket. You'll get a much better understanding of the racket than you will if you don't use it. Also, we do have an in-depth review of each and every racket, a video review, so that helps you out even further. Now the key testing notes for the E-zone is we re-string all of our rackets with BG65 at 25 £ tension. We use the same shuttles, the AS30s by Yonex, and we have the same player testing all of our rackets. So we're now going to move on to the smash shot, and straight after that will be the maneuver shot. The parameters surrounding those are: we take 6 shots for the smash, 6 shots for the maneuver. If we're happy with how those tests have gone, we then take the 2 highest speed scores and average them out to give us a smash speed and smash score. The smash speed is in kilometers per hour, and same with the maneuver. We take the fastest 2 moving shots, the head speed. We're measuring the head speed movement, and we average the 2 fastest tests out, and we get a maneuver score and a maneuver speed in kilometers per hour. The tests are coming up now. We're going to sign out. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you next time. Here's the smash shot.